Hi, I'm Rita Wilkins, also known as the Downsizing Designer. So today's topic is about sentimental clutter, and it's that battle between our hearts and our head. So you might think that you're finally ready to tackle all of those sentimental items that have been sitting in boxes in your basement for months or maybe even for years. But here's where the battle between your heart and your head actually begins. You open that first box and your eyes fill up with tears because sitting right on top are your grandma's favorite things. And your heart is saying, I can't possibly let go of that because grandma loved it so much. And your head is saying, but you need to declutter. You don't have space for all of this stuff. So face it, we've all experienced that inner debate at some point in our lives where we're stuck between what we feel and what we think. Our heart is at the center of our emotions, what we value, what we desire. And our head, on the other hand, is the center of our logic and our reason. That's why we're pulled in two different directions when we do try to decide what to keep and what to let go of when we're decluttering those sentimental items. You're challenged because you find yourself second-guessing every decision you're trying to make, and you're making very little progress because of your inability to decide. So stay with me because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to create a win-win situation. You'll learn how to let go of those tricky sentimental items while you'll still preserve the memories without all of the guilt. So we all have those things that hold a special place in our hearts that we can't imagine living without. It could be your mom's favorite rocking chair that she rocked her babies in and now her grandchildren in. It could be your grandpa's toolbox he used every single day to fix something around the house, or it could be your dad's garden tools who he used to help grow vegetables for his family. So each of those items evoke strong emotions and connections to our loved ones. Discarding them triggers guilt or fear about forgetting those important people or those experiences in our lives. And letting go of them might even mean letting go a part of ourselves. So without a doubt, these emotions slow us down in the decluttering process, creating that friction between our heart and also our head. So our emotional side is saying keep it, and our practical side is saying let it go and move on. And that hurts. But there is a way to overcome that inner conflict and to get unstuck so that you can start separating the emotions from the sentimental stuff. So these are my 5 top strategies to integrate both the emotional and the reason side of our heads. So the first one is to acknowledge your feelings and don't hide or suppress them. Allow yourself to experience the guilt, the sadness, the feeling of loss. And then admit that the memories are attached to an object. And then recognize that your memories live in your heart, not in that object. So this will help you to find balance between your head and your heart. And the second one is to take as much time as you need to declutter those sentimental items, but decide to decide. So be intentional as you decide what to keep, what to let go of, what to repurpose. Set realistic boundaries around the items that you can actually keep. And donate them purposefully and also compassionately. So find a family or neighbor or friend who will want and will use those items that you are donating. And it could well be families who are just starting out or families who might have suffered an incredible loss because of fire or hurricane. And when you give to those kind of causes, it actually creates a very warm spot in your heart for who will be using those. The third is to focus on the benefits of decluttering. So continuously remind yourself of what life will be like when you're no longer burdened by those sentimental items that have been weighing you down. And remind yourself of why you want to declutter: less stress, less cluttered home, more time and energy and space for the things that you really do want to pursue. So, and as you're decluttering, make sure that you're asking yourself, is holding on to these sentimental items a solution or is it part of the problem? that's causing all the stress. Then also ask, what purpose does it serve in your life right now? And is it practical? Is it useful? And number 5 is to practice self-compassion. To find closure, use that one item one last time, because you kind of need to say goodbye to it. So it could mean rocking in your mom's rocker and maybe using your dad's garden tools, whatever it is, but use it one more time and then let it go. So I also have a bonus because I felt like there's still more I want to tell you. And it's called my Heartfelt Guide to Preserve the Memories and Let this stuff, let go of the clutter. So the first thing is to set those boundaries, limit what you can keep by allowing yourself only to have those items in each category, a few of those items in each category that are meaningful. So it could be just a few of your kids' artwork, a few of your kids' toys, a few of your kids' old clothing, each one of those, but you are setting boundaries about what's practical. And the next one is to create a memory box. I know I've talked about this before, but it really does work. So store those very few small special items that are very meaningful to you in a memory box. It could be like a locket from your grandmother, or maybe a scarf or something from your mom. The third is to upcycle sentimental items. So this gives a whole new life, a whole new purpose to some of your sentimental items. My sister-in-law made a beautiful quilt out of her dad's clothing, her dad's shirts. It was beautiful, and to this day, every time she sees that quilt, it reminds of her dad. Number 4 is display it, use it, and enjoy it. So for sure, we all have those things that we do love and we want to see every day. So intentionally display a few items that you've chosen to keep. Could be your mom's vase because she loved gardening, and you put fresh flowers in that every week, and it reminds you of her love of gardening. And the last one is family photo party. So this was actually created by my sister, because we had a lot of family photos. And so after a large family dinner, which happened to have been Thanksgiving, she let us know that she was going to share a number of boxes of family photos with us and distribute them around the table. So we each had piles of photos around, and as we went through them, of course it generates memories and, connecting the dots, like who was that person anyway? So you enjoy looking at them together, sharing all of those memories, and then taking home with you the ones that are most meaningful to you. So I've used that because it really does work. And then there was another thing that my sisters and I created together, and this is a little bit of a personal story, but our mom was an amazing letter writer. So wherever we would travel, she would write beautiful 10 to 12 page handwritten letters and send them to her family back home to stay connected, because we didn't have all the means of communication that we do now. And she would give details of our everyday, all the experiences that we were having traveling, and also, just people that we would meet. So as I was decluttering my large home and getting ready to move to my tiny apartment in the city, I discovered a few of those boxes of Mom's letters that I've been holding on to for a long, long time, and I knew it couldn't come with me. So my sisters and I had a scanning party of those cherished letters so that we could share them with our other siblings, our grandchildren, and we could look at them whenever we wanted. So essentially, letting go of sentimental items is a closing of a chapter, while letting go of sentimental clutter is one of the hardest parts of decluttering. Once you've let go, there's a tremendous sense of relief. Having faced the struggle between your head and your heart, you should really acknowledge yourself for finally doing this and finally being able to close this chapter. So now you can live your life more fully and more abundantly. I hope this helps.